I'm Snow, and today I'm going to be doing the unpopular book opinions tag. And I've never really done a tag like this before, as you can probably tell from my previous videos, but I thought it would be fun to do, and now I'll give you all a reason to hate me. So let's get into the tag. 1. What is a popular book or series that you didn't like? Now for this one, I'm going to just be talking about the first book in a series, and that is The Young Elites by Marie Lu. I know that quite a lot of people did like this book. Now, I've only read the first one. I do own the second one, which is The Rose Society. I will be reading this one to give it a chance, but I just wasn't a huge fan of the first book. It took me a very long time to get through, and I just really didn't like the main character. I mean, I know she's been through a lot, but she just was kind of annoying. It did take me like a month to read this, and I kept putting it down and picking it back up, so I hope that by reading the second book might make me like the book a bit more. I did like her other books. I got through about half of Legend. I do like those. Those are good. So nothing against Marie Lu, just not a big fan of this one. And then on the flip side, number 2 is what is a book or series that you liked that everyone else hated? I know it is a very popular book with a large majority of people, but with people that I know that read this book, nobody seemed to like it. And that is The Chosen by Chaim Potok. Author names are very difficult for me, so I'm not sure if that's how you correctly say it, but I absolutely loved this book. I've talked about it before. I have a friend who watches these videos. Hello, Emma. I know she hates this book, which is why I'm talking about it, because she seemed to hate it. I loved it. Everyone else in my class hated it, except for like one other person. So, The Chosen is a book that I love, that everyone else seems to hate. Question 3 is, what is a love triangle in a book or a series that the main character ended up with the person that you did not want them to end up with? Or just what's a ship that you wish they had chose another character? And that is, in The Hunger Games, Katniss should have ended up with Gale. I mean, Peeta, throughout this entire series, has done nothing. Nothing. In the whole tournament, all he does is paint himself to look like a tree. He does no fighting, and there is no romance between them, and they're just kind of forced into it because they both won, and now they have to look like they're in a relationship, so now they kind of are. But Gale and Katniss are perfect together. Like, why? I have a lot of anger towards this one, if it's not shown easily, but Question 4. What is a popular book genre that you do not reach for? That would be, for me, classics. I have a bunch of them. They're all up here. I don't know if you can see them, but I have an entire shelf of classics, or what I consider classics. And I just don't reach for them as much, and I think it's because school books are mainly classics, and for me, school reading is just awful. I don't like it, except for The Chosen. Read it! But most of the time it's classics, and it's just all the school reading classics that I've had to do have left a bad impression on me about classics, which is awful. I really do want to read classics, and I might give them another chance at some point, but for right now, classics are not a genre that I reach for. Question 5. What is a beloved or popular character that you do not like? We're gonna stick with classics on this and say Mr. Darcy from Pride and Prejudice by Jane Austen. I did not like him. I don't really remember why. I just remember that I did not like him because he just seemed like such a rude character to me at the time. I didn't like him, but then again, I did read this book in 4 hours for school, so can't talk too much about it because I'm not too sure. And then number 6, who is a popular author that you just can't get into? Jane Austen. I have quite a few of her books up there, but I just can't really get into her. Again, with the whole classics and with the whole I'm not a big fan of Pride and Prejudice. I just did not like it. I think it was because I had to read it for school. Sorry, Jane Austen. I mean, I'm sure you're a beautiful writer. Zoe from Read by Zoe seems to absolutely love you, but I just don't. I might give you another chance. Number 7 is, what is a popular book trope that you are just tired of seeing? For me, that would be love triangles. Now, there are a couple books that have done it really well, but just nowadays, love triangles have gotten really old. In the beginning, I really liked them. I loved seeing all the characters and how they interacted with each other throughout this love triangle, but now it seems like every author is just trying to shove it into the book somehow so that it just makes the story interesting. And I hate that that's the only reason why the story's interesting. Like, you could have such a great plot going through the story, but instead you decided to focus on a love triangle that sometimes just one of the characters is very obvious they're not going to end up with. But anyway, I'm not a big fan of love triangles, and the only love triangle that I can personally say that I really enjoyed was between Jem, Will, and Tessa in The Infernal Devices. I think that Cassandra Clare just pulled that off so well, and how they were just all brilliant together. But that's the only love triangle that I can say that I enjoyed. All the rest just seem like someone always gets hurt, and the other two just aren't very good together. Number 8. What is a popular book or series that you just don't think you're going to read? Now, although I own the whole series, I'm just Twilight. I'm not sure if I'm ever really going to read it. I'm sure I'll get through it just to say that I've read them and just to experience what everybody else did while reading it. But I already know the whole story of Twilight, and I'm not sure if I'll ever actually get around to reading these. Now, the very last question was kind of difficult for me actually to answer, and that is, what is a movie or TV show that you preferred over the book? Now, as most readers will say, the book to movie adaptations, the book is always better. But I'd have to say that there's one or two that I preferred the movie over the book. Now, this one I haven't actually read the book, but I can just assume that the movie and the musical are better. It'd be Les Miserables by Victor Hugo. I don't know if I'll ever actually read this. Hey, like Twilight. I loved the movie and the musical. I saw the musical in London and I loved it so much, so I think it's just gonna be better than the book. And that was the Unpopular Book Opinions tag. I hope that you all enjoyed seeing me answer these questions, and if you want to answer any of them, please leave them below. If you want to agree or disagree with me, tell me. I want to see what you guys have to say about all these. So, thank you all so much for watching, and I'll see you all next time. Bye!